This is Strictly Business, presented by the Greater Bakersfield Chamber of Commerce. Sponsored in part by the law offices of Young Wooldridge, San Joaquin Community Hospital. And now, here's your host, Cindy Pollard, President and CEO of the Greater Bakersfield Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome back. This spotlight is brought to you by San Joaquin Community Hospital. Joining me now is Kira Wiggins, Director of the San Joaquin Community Hospital Wellness Center. In honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're going to be taking a look at some cancer-fighting superfoods for working people with very busy schedules. Kira is a registered dietitian and a certified yoga therapist. She oversees diabetes education, the children's mobile immunizations, and the weight loss surgical programs at San Joaquin Community Hospital. She's been on this show before, so welcome back, Kira.
Thank you. Always great to be here.
And it's great to have you. So first of all, what is a superfood?
Well, officially, superfood is a marketing term. But really what it means is just foods that are nutrient dense. So they have lots of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, good healthy fats, but low in calories. So ones that are going to give you some good health benefits.
Okay, so what do they look like? And certainly as I'm pushing my cart through the grocery store, I don't see any foods wearing capes. They give it away. So
yeah, as we were joking, maybe they should be, right?
What am I looking for?
So when we're looking at foods that are high in antioxidants, which would be on that list of superfoods, we're going to be looking for dark fruits and vegetables. So the darker the color, the more vibrant the color, the higher the antioxidant and vitamin content usually is. So generally on that list, we see a lot of our berries, we see blueberries, and we see a lot of our cruciferous vegetables like our broccoli and cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, kale, all of those kinds of things. Yeah, absolutely. But then we also have foods that are considered superfoods that aren't in that fruit and vegetable category. That would be more like a good healthy fat, so high in omega-3 fats. We see our fatty fish like salmon, anchovies, those kinds of things, and some of our nuts as well have those good healthy fats.
Salmon on the menu tonight.
Absolutely.
So, what exactly is an antioxidant and how does it help our body?
Well, our bodies create something called free radicals. Now, they are created somewhat by our body and some of it by the environment and the foods we eat. Now, not that you need the scientific lesson on what a free radical is, but just know that these actually can contribute to our risk of cancer, developing cancer. So that's really what we want to focus on here. They're not good and healthy things for our body to have too much of. And antioxidants actually fight those. So less free radicals, less risk of cancer.
Down with the free radicals and up with the antioxidants.
Absolutely.
You named off a lot of foods that have them. Does preparation of the food affect the superness of it?
Well, that's a little bit of a mixed bag because there are some nutrients that are more available for your body to actually absorb when things are cooked. And some nutrients that are more available if they're raw. So really the best thing to do is have a mix. So some raw fruits and vegetables and some cooked. But one of the things we have to be careful of, especially because we are talking about cancer, right, is cooking our meats at high temperatures, because that actually can lead to a carcinogen being developed and increasing the risk of developing cancer. So high heat, like pan frying or and barbecuing. That grilling over open flame. I know it's so yummy, but just, not that it's forbidden, but we don't want to do it every day.
Oops.
So that salmon that was on the menu, we might want to bake.
What if I line the grill with foil and close the lid?
We'll be okay. We'll slide in there. But that charring is really what the issue
That's
is.
what you want to avoid. The carcinogen that's contained in the char itself.
Yeah, it actually is created in that process of charring. Which is my favorite part.
And it's so tasty.
I know.
It's so tasty. Are there some superfoods that we should have more of than others, or is there a balance that we're looking for, or just any superfood is good?
Well, in general, we want to try to get more of these superfoods in, less of the foods that have less nutrition in them. But if we're going to break it down into less and more of these certain foods, we want to be careful of our calories. You know,
Good
we
point.
do know that many cancers or your risk of developing many cancers is increased with obesity. So calories are going to be important. So if we're going to decide which superfoods to eat more of, we want the lower calorie ones, which would be those fruits and vegetables,
Okay.
and probably a little bit less of the higher fat foods, you know, the nuts and the fatty fish and those. Not that we
Okay.
don't want many of those, but those would be the ones you want less of, more fruits and vegetables.
Okay, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So what are some easy ways to add superfoods to your existing diet if, you know, it's not really something that you've necessarily ever paid attention to? What's the best way to incorporate those?
Well, it depends on why you have less of them. So if you're not a vegetable fan, which a lot of people just don't like vegetables very much, one way that a lot of people are doing it now is juicing. Juicing a lot of your vegetables, you like kale and cabbage and things that just don't often taste that great to a lot of people. Juicing those, mixing them in a smoothie with some fruit juice, maybe some Greek yogurt for protein, you know, things like that it's a easy way to get lots in
And
a
it
small
really
package.
changes the taste tremendously of
Absolutely.
kale or cabbage when you're juicing it with
Yep.
fruit.
Yes, then you get the sweetness of the fruit that kind of counteracts the bitterness sometimes of those vegetables. So that's one way. Now, if you like vegetables, but you just don't find the time to prepare them, one of the wonderful things that a lot of grocers are doing now is offering pre-cut, pre-washed,
Yes.
very easy. It come
I
in
love
steamer
those.
bags. Yes, right? Because when you come home from a long day,
Right.
cutting up and washing vegetables and that whole process sometimes is just like, it's not worth it.
Right.
So if you can purchase them already pretty much ready to go, I love that they're doing that now, making it
Yes.
so much easier. And especially if you have a household with just one or two people, then you can get the single packs and it makes it much, much easier.
Yes. You know, I stumbled upon a pre-packaged salad that never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined that those ingredients could actually make a salad. You know, I'm a pretty good vegetable eater. And as I was looking at it, I go, this looks really interesting. But it has Brussels sprouts, it has kale, it has broccoli, it looks like watercress, it has dried cranberries, and it has pumpkin seeds. And it is a really hearty salad that's filled with these superfoods.
Absolutely. Everything you mentioned there
Right,
would be
yeah.
on that
Yeah,
list.
and I never in my wildest dreams would have thought of putting those things all together.
And what's amazing is you put all of that together and how full do you get so quickly? There's so much fiber involved in
huge.
there. And you know what's funny about it is when you have to take or it takes so much work to actually chew it and get it, you get full faster.
Get full
It's like,
faster.
I'm tired of eating, right?
Yeah, well, and that's a good thing too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's a benefit. That's
Because
a
we can
benefit.
eat less of it.
Right.
So juicing is one way that people can add these superfoods. How many superfoods a day should we have, or what's the
As many as possible.
As many as possible.
But
Okay.
really, I mean, just as a guideline, think about every meal adding at least 2 to 3 servings.
Okay.
So that would be, on the vegetable side, the fruit side, the high omega-3 side, the good
Okay.
healthy fats. So just
Okay.
try to get for 2 to 3 servings per meal.
Okay, so that's quite a few.
Yes.
Quite a few.
Yes.
So any other suggestions besides juicing, ways that people can add these superfoods to their diet, especially if they're super busy?
Right. Well, you mentioned that pre-made salad.
Yes.
That is another fantastic thing that the grocery stores are offering are these pre-packaged, very healthy options that way.
Right.
So grabbing one of those, there's your lunch, right?
Right,
And then when
right.
you came home, you have the pre-steam or the bag that you just put into steam in the microwave, done. And very, very simple. You
okay.
can use the grill, like the George Foreman grills and those kinds
Right,
of things that are
right.
available now to cook your salmon and have your lean meats that way.
Okay.
And snacking. I love the little pre-packaged like 100-calorie or the little
Right,
snack bags with the
right.
nuts. Because I don't know about you, but if I buy a big thing of nuts all afternoon,
Handfuls
right?
at a time, right?
Yes. So if it's pre-packaged like that, it
Right.
limits you. And so
Good
you don't
point.
overdo it on those, but it's also very simple. Grab it, put it in your bag, and you go. You
And
carry
go.
that in your car, carry it in your purse. Very, very simple, but have it ready and available. It does take some planning
Sure,
ahead.
absolutely.
And when you're busy, During the week, it doesn't happen very well. So take a little time out on the weekend when you might have a little extra.
To do all of your prep.
Plan ahead for the week. Prep it ahead.
Right.
You buy the things that you need for the week because, on Wednesday night when you're tired is when it's too easy to call for pizza or stop at McDonald's. But if you already know what you're going to have and it's ready in the kitchen, all you have to do is heat it up. Much simpler.
Good point.
I'm also a big fan of a crock pot.
Yes.
That's a good one to get back to.
Yes. Okay. Good points. So you mentioned something just a minute ago about the George Foreman grill, and this is a girl that grills. Actually, my husband does the grilling, but we grill just about everything, including vegetables. Is the George Foreman or that type of a grill a little bit better for you than the open flame grilling because of the carcinogens, or are you still flirting with danger?
No, it's
Ripping the cape off of superfoods by grilling
Oh, I hate
it.
to put it that way. It is going to be removing that danger a bit, but there are ways, to use the outdoor grill, and still keep it safe.
Okay.
One of the things that is suggested is maybe a slight pre-cook of the meat or the
okay.
vegetables, so
Okay.
so you don't have to spend as much time on that high heat open flame.
Okay.
So it's a shorter amount of time, less exposure to that, less development of the
Right.
carcinogens.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Okay.
But then you still get the flavor.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's what's so good about
Yeah.
it. So what are some suggestions, a lot of the suggestions that you just gave for us as individuals to incorporate the superfoods into our daily diet and our daily routine were fantastic. So what are some things that businesses can do to incorporate that into more of a workplace wellness approach for their employees? What can they
There's
do?
a lot of things depending on the setting. If there's some type of cafeteria or vending machine options available, then stocking, those pre-made salads like you're talking about, stocking some of these foods, making it available for your staff and making it inexpensive. Because if there's a 50-cent bag of chips or a $2 bag of vegetables, what are you going to go for at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Right? So you need to price point it so that you're actually promoting that product.
Right.
But also meetings. What do we get at meetings? Donuts and cookies, and while that's fun, you're not helping the attendees, and the attention span is less when you load up on sugar
That's
like
true.
that.
That's
So if you
true.
really want people to be sharp in your meetings, you offer these things where you have these vegetables with healthy hummus dip or something, cucumber dip, something that makes it still fun and tasty, but a little bit lighter.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense, but easier said than done. I understand.
Well, great suggestions, though. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And of course, this is in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So make sure you do get your fill of superfoods. Lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. If you're not a vegetable person, juice them. Combine them with some fruit, makes them manageable for you. Great suggestions here from Kira.
Thank you.
I'm Cindy Pollard with the Greater Bakersfield Chamber of Commerce. You are watching Strictly Business. We're going to take a quick break for a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll be at the closing bell. Stay with us.